Hey, what's up, guys? I figured I hadn't done a video in a little while, so figured I'd drag this one out on the porch, do a little walk around, I guess, of it. It's not no electronic, well, there's a servo in it, but I was moving some stuff around, and I have some different ESC and stuff to put in it for the vintage nats, and I gotta go over, basically tear the truck down and clean it all up, put it back together, that kind of stuff for the race. But I got till September, but it'll be here before I know it. But so I'm sure a lot of you have seen this already, but it's a Mid Motor T2. Built this, I think, in 2020. It actually started as a buggy. I built it as a carpet buggy just to mess around at the local, semi-local carpet tracks. I never really raced it, just turned some laps with it, and it worked pretty well. And then the one track closed, and it was just kind of sitting around, and I wanted to build a truck for the vintage nats, I believe in 2020. So I had enough arms and stuff laying around, and from converting other T2s into B15s, so I just made a truck out of it, and worked pretty well. So just gonna go over what's on the front, what you're seeing here. So I guess in 2016, 2017, I did a project with Jason Rona for J Concepts, the EGT, and on that one we used a high flow T2m body, which is what this is, J Concepts T2m high flow body, and I wanted to use it on this build also, so I kind of built the chassis around fitting underneath the body properly, or made it work basically. So yeah, paint was done by DW Designs. He did this one same as my World's car. I ran both of these at the they're fresh bodies for the J Concepts INS race last year at Adrenaline. Silver smoothies. So like I said, there's no electronics in it at the moment, but it's actually better that stuff's not in there, so you can kind of see what's going on a little bit better. So when I built it as a buggy, or if anybody watched the B15 videos that I have done, I always shorten the chassis. I like having, because a T2 tub's like 5/8 of an inch or so longer. I think it's 5/8, maybe 3/8. I don't remember. And I just like making them the same as like a standard RC10 tub. So I always shorten the front. And when I built it as the buggy, I thought, well, to get a little bit more room in between the motor and stuff, maybe I would add half of it, or I would only shorten it halfway. So that's why you see typically the other hole would be, up here. So on the buggy, I almost think maybe it was a little too much. It seemed a little heavy in the nose, and so the weight I got in the back, but it did work. It did work pretty good. So on this, converting it to a truck, I got the nose out in the long wheelbase, so it wasn't as short as the buggy, but it fits under the body. Kind of wheelbase is nice. I almost think it'd be a little too long to have the nose extended on a stock T2 tub, but I don't know, I never tested it or anything like that. But So the front is basically, you know, stock associated stuff. The shocks came from a SC10.3 truck that I had down in the basement. Got the YGT axles on the front. The standard later T2 DS steering bell crank, B6 ball studs and ball cups, some J Concepts titanium turnbuckles on it. Moving to the back, the the waterfall brace, if you want to call it. I made that by hand, and I made it to try and mimic the look of the rear motor guard or the chassis brace in the back of the T2. It's similar, you know, it has the slots and stuff in it. So and obviously the sides are cut out here, you know, before they would come out like this, and then the bulkhead would, and the bulkhead would attach in that area. CVDs, B6 ball cup studs in the back. For this, the conversion in the back is pretty simple. I mean, it has the rectangle's already in the tub, so all you gotta do is spin the chants around, drill the new holes, and then everything else is basically just get everything to work underneath the body. On a T2, use basically the same arm mounts as an RC10, but you can't move the arm mount front or back. So it's kind of hard to see because of chassis tape, but this is the original hole here. And then I didn't like how far forward they were, so I just drilled one new hole here, which allowed the arm mount to go back, because typically on a T2 you use both the outer holes, so I got a little bit of adjustability there if I wanted it, but I'm kind of locked into where I'm at. So just fabbed up a little body mount brace there to take up the place of, because that's typically where the shock tower would go. But I wanted the shocks to be kind of as much on top of the arm as possible. I didn't want them like hanging off the backside, so I got a spacer in there to space the tower back a little bit. So the shocks are on the front side. And on the front sides of the mount. I'm pretty sure the GTs are like that too. Yeah, so nothing like super fancy other than, you know, actually making it Mid Motor. I do plan on, I want to either put a Avid Triad setup on there before the Vintage Nats, or just put a V2 setup on there, because it seemed to be a little, I don't know, didn't seem to be good enough, especially on the higher bite tracks. Same thing, you know, notch to tub out there to get access to the motor screws and stuff. But it's worked pretty well. That second with it down at the North Carolina vintage race in 23. I think I finished 4th last year with it. Yeah. Vintage Nats I was doing, last year's Vintage Nats I was doing pretty good. Burned up a spur. Yeah, I like it. Works pretty well. So I got a set of big bores for it when I bought the SC10 parts truck. It came in a brand new set of big bores. So I've been kind of debating on putting them on or not, because it does work the way it is, but we'll see. I've managed to get a couple packs of the big bore springs, so I think that was the biggest draw or turn off for actually putting them on before, because I didn't have springs in that. But called a lot by a little while ago and got some springs, so. But yeah. That's about it for this one. Oh, I think, I don't know not exactly sure what electronics I'm putting on it, or putting in it this time, but I had been running like a Novak Impact and 17.5. The INS race was a 13.5. I actually liked it with the 13.5. Get a little more speed, a little more oomph out of it. But I think it's probably going to get an LRP flow and another 17.5, because for the Vintage Nats 17.5. So I got a Reed S Plus to put in it. But yeah, that's it for that one. See you guys on the next.